Well, this week is a right old mix of building, swimming, cycling, hosting and some DIY. Welcome to our channel. We are Kath, Sue and Fudge. Following retirement and after 2.5 years on the road, we decided to establish new roots in the Cairngorms and are now 6 months into Scottish Highland life. Come and join us as we continue to navigate through retirement. Morning. Now you can probably tell I'm in the greenhouse and I've brought you in here specifically today because I have a new project in mind. Before I do that, look, my little tomato plants. I thought I was at the point of throwing these away. I planted them months ago, but they suddenly seem to be coming up. So I'm sorry, I don't know if you can even see any of this. Anyway, I want to make a new potting table. This greenhouse needs a good old clear out, and I want to add another potting table just to give me a bit more work surface at the end. Well, I've based the design on the one that's in there already, and I actually bought the wood. I calculated roughly what size, well, precisely what size and what wood I would need for that. Again, probably about a month ago now. So I'm just going to start taking my wood through to make the initial cuts, and some of it I'll have to measure as I go. Well, I've cut now all the main pieces of wood to put the frame together. There will be some more bits to cut as well for side braces and various other bits which I'll need to measure once I've put this together. But I'm now going to start to assemble it. I'm going to see if I can move my workbench outside, because it's glorious out there. Well, can't work indoors when it's like this, can you? The assembly started by building the end pieces to my table. So that meant taking 2 legs and screwing the brace pieces into place. Now this is at the very top, so it's flush with the top of the table, and you can see I've got a couple of squares in place just to make sure that I screw these in square. I then did exactly the same with the brace at the bottom, except I just made sure it was, I can't remember if I did 20 or 30 mil up from the bottom, but obviously made sure that that was the same at both sides. I should also point out that what I've been doing right the way through this project is drilling pilot holes first before putting the screws in, and that's just to make sure none of the wood split. Next, I wanted to work out where I wanted the middle shelf to be and measure it so that it was exactly the same at both sides. So lots more measuring and marking. And then it was simply a case of putting that middle brace in place and screwing it in the right place. Once again, you'll see I drill pilot holes first. And then of course I just repeated the whole process for the second leg end. Well, I'm just trying to work out what my next step is, and I thought if I clamp the 2 leg ends to the table, to the workbench, and then I can add the slats on if I do one side and then the far side and then just space them out in the middle. But then I've just had a second thought, is there are some side support pieces on my original workbench which I think would be good. I'm just going to have a quick look at the old workbench just in case it's going to be easier to put those in place first. So I've got to remember there's going to be a kind of platform across the middle as well. Bit of thinking to do before I take the next step. Well, I decided against the diagonal supports and fitted the front and back planks of my worktop, and then placed the middle ones in, spacing them simply by eye. It was exactly the same process for the shelf underneath. The only difference was I needed to notch out a couple of bits for the front and back plank. And guess what? I used my new multi-tool to do this job. I wasn't sure whether it would work, but it was fine. I could have used the hacksaw, which would have done just the same job. once the front and back planks were in place, the middle 3 were easy again, and I just spaced them out by eye. And the penultimate job was just to add an additional brace piece at the bottom on the outside of the leg frame. And for some reason I completely forgot to film the last bit, but it was really easy. It was another brace piece, just screwed on the full length of the table on the top and the middle shelf. You can probably see it as Sue and I are carrying it into the greenhouse. Well, as with everything I make, it's not perfect, but do you know what? It gives me another working surface and another shelf to store things, and I'm starting to collect lots of things now, so I think this, all in all, is good. Now, the reason I didn't do the full width of the greenhouse, I'll turn the camera so you can see. So I left this gap here, and that's because there's a wire here, and I think that is where the previous occupier used to strap up some of his taller plants, possibly even tomato plants. So I left a gap there so we can still keep that whole run clear, whilst at the same time, let's turn the camera again, giving me this space here. I'm pleased with myself. Oh, and there's a gap here as well. Again, I can put things on the floor here, and this is plenty strong enough. If I need to, I can put some braces down the side, but it's not carrying a great weight, so it should be okay. Well, what do you think? Everything looks much more ordered. Whether it works, we don't know, but it looks neater. We're blessed today with another absolutely glorious day, and I've got another volunteer day. I'm going into the Abernethy Forest to a tree nursery and helping them. It could be any number of things, from weeding to, I'm guessing there'll be some watering maybe going on at the moment, planting, maybe replanting, all little saplings of the native variety ready to go back into the forest at some point in the future. So I'm looking forward to that. Now I'm going to cycle up there today, which in itself is going to be a bit of an adventure, because I'm cycling up through some across the burn at one point, and through some forest trails. But I think I know where I'm going, so I'll see you en route, no doubt.
Which way to go?
arrived at the meet-up point, and I'm predictably early. Sue always says I'm always early, but this time I've brought some coffee with me, so I'll just sit down and have a cup of coffee in the sunshine. Well, I've had a fabulous day volunteering. Once again, met some brilliant people, and I'm heading back home. But I've just paused at this spot because it's a great spot to sit down and just reflect on the day. I can listen to the river and the birds at the same time. And, well, it's a beautiful day, so why not? And after this brief pause to reflect on that lovely day that I'd had, I continued with my journey back home, through woodland, across fields, and finally up the lane. And soon after getting home, I spotted this little guy. He's very welcome, as long as he doesn't start eating my veggies. Well, it's a new day, and, well, time for a swim. The jacket on the floor in the warm, so it's warm when I come out. Well, today's craziness. Today's craziness. I found a little spot in the river that I've been looking at for ages, and I'm going to go and see how cold it is. Wish me luck. Oh, hang on, I need to put my watch on. My heart rate's gone up already, look. Yeah, right. Crocs on. Oh my goodness. Oh, Aisha. So cold. Oh my god. I'm out of practice.
Is it cold?
Just a bit. I'm out of practice, aren't I, Fudge? Oh, I'm just going to have to go for it, aren't I?
What's you doing?
I'm not sure I can just go for it. I'm just going to have to go for it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it takes your breath away. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on then, Fudge. That's why she doesn't like it. Come on, Fudge. Go and get it. Good girl. Oh, I'm shaking. I'm shivering. Right, I need my hands. And then gloves on and back in for a second time, which wasn't quite so difficult.
Ready? Oh, look at it. Go on, Fudgy, go get it.
Well, good morning. So for those of you that were expecting us to be jumping into a tent and going on an adventure, we've had to put that on hold. We will be doing that, but family emergency. Unfortunately, Sue's mum has managed to break her foot, so she's in a boot. So Sue went to pick her up, bring her back here, because, you know, when you've hurt your foot, it's much nicer to have some company around, isn't it, during the day when you're maybe hobbling around the house, and she's doing really well. But she's staying with us for the week, so we will come back to that adventure. We've just put it on hold for a short while. I wondered what was keeping you, Esna, and then I remembered you had a boot.
There we are.
Ready for our day out?
Yes. Where are we going? Oh, what
Oh,
was that, Fudge?
it was a fly, you silly girl. Come on then.
Fudgy in the boot.
Let's get you all in. Come on, in you get.
Back.
That's a good girl. Right, sit down. If you ever manage to come to the Cairngorms, you must come to what is officially the best cafe in the Highlands, and that's Nethy House, which is in the little village of Nethy Bridge. And let me introduce you to Anne. She's one of the owners of Nethy House, and they do a fantastic selection of cakes, as you can see. There's also some great lunch stuff, and at breakfast time you can have your breakfast there too. Well, good morning. So yesterday we finished off at the cafe and had a great time. Did a bit of sunbathing when we got back. Today it's so much colder. The other thing about today is our electricity's going off whilst they replace some poles. So, well, the power bank that I've got is fully charged, so if we need it when we get back, then we'll be able to use it. But otherwise, we're going off. And remember, was it last week? I can't remember where we are now in weeks. But we went to Nairn, and I said at the time, I think we'll be back. So we're going to take Esna to Nairn and have a nice day by the seaside. Well, we started with a short stroll around the very quaint town of Nairn. See, Sue's wearing an oversized coat. Yes, she's borrowed mine. It seems to be a bit warmer here in Nairn. So we've reached the town centre. We're just going to have a little poke around there first. And we want to go to a pet shop because we've run out of Fudge biscuits. Well, we've moved on from the town centre and we've come down to park at the harbour, which it says free parking. There's a sign that says invitation to pay, although first hour is free. And what's really nice about this place, if you're a van lifer like we used to be, is there are actually some designated parking bays for motorhomes. And even better than that, there are some designated overnight stay bays. So if you want to stay overnight here, you are welcome to do that. And the suggested amount to pay is about £10. I think I remember that from the sign, to stay overnight, which I think, well, I would definitely have paid £10 to stay here, because it is in that direction quite a short walk into the town. And in that direction, you've got a fantastic beach. There's the Moray Firth, and just over, we think that's probably Sutherland, the hills in the background there. Anyway, we're going to head off because I think it's lunchtime already. Well, we did have a lovely lunch, which I didn't film. But when I got back, it was time to start dealing with these holes left in the wall from light fittings ahead of the decorator starting next week. So after drawing a square round the holes, I used the multi-tool to follow those lines and ultimately pull out a square piece of plasterboard. I then used the piece that I'd cut out as a template to draw around, and once again used the multi-tool to cut a new piece of plasterboard without the hole in the middle. Then I plugged the hole with the new piece of boarding and screwed it into place. Now this second hole was a bit more complicated because there was no wood behind it in order to screw the new piece of plasterboard into place. So I first had to get a batten, screw a batten into place, after which I could then screw the new piece of plasterboard in place. Now there were a total of 8 of those holes where wall light fittings had been removed and some old TV points. And all of those holes would have been filled by the decorator. But it would have taken a couple of hours, and as I can do that myself, it justified buying a multi-tool, because I reckon I've saved that about 2 hours worth of an expert's time. Now don't worry about the gaps around the outside, they will of course get filled by the decorator, but he would have had to do that job if I hadn't done it for him. So, well, a little bit of DIY, I'm quite proud of myself. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a mixture of all sorts of things this week, but I will look forward hopefully to seeing you all again next week. Thank you so much for watching.